Welcome to the course of multicultural work. We just had an introduction webinar, so I will fast go through the same things as in the webinar. So here you can see the map. Please write down the country or the continent which you feel most familiar with, which culture you feel the most familiar with, or which is the most closest to you. And then also mark with the cross the country which you know the least, which is not so familiar to you, and which you feel this is not familiar to you. And write those things down. And then share it with your groups at your Teams forum, which I will guide you soon. So, why multicultural knowledge is important? It's important because human beings, we are social beings, and we have developed cultures with both similarities and differences. And usually we are unaware of our own culture. And it's really important to become aware of the impact of our own culture. It's really important when working with people from different cultures, because it affects our thinking and behavior. And this learning cultures, it's just not passive assimilation. It's created and shaped by human beings. So culture all the time develops. We are creating the culture all the time. The culture is not the same now as the culture was at our grandparents' time in Finland. So it changes in time. Culture defines what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. So it's really important to know as a professional as well how our own culture impacts us as professionals. So we need other people to understand ourselves and our culture. So we can also help other people better understand themselves and their culture. So it's really crucial to see that this is relational. We need other people in this cultural identification, but also to know who we are, what is our identity, and how our culture impacts us. It's only coming if we meet other people from other cultures. That's how we can best know things from our culture as well. Then usually immigrants and refugees, they face many difficulties when they try to integrate to a new country and to Finland as well. For example, entering education or going to work markets. And this integration process actually is both sides. We as Finns need to as well adapt to the new situation. It's not only the migrants or immigrants. So it's vice versa. Both need to adapt to the new situation. And the purpose of all kindness and counseling, what we do, is always to help these people to participate in education and employment. So usually, even if you're working at kindergarten as kindergarten teacher, it's still helping the child eventually to get the education and get employed. So all this guidance and counseling in the multicultural context is helping to achieve the education and employment, because it helps you to integrate. But integration, it's just not only working and studying, it's the feeling. How do you feel about belonging to that society or community? So it's also important to notice. When we talk about acculturation, it's sopeutuminen uuteen kulttuuriin process. So there are different aspects of it. And actually the ideal way of this acculturation, so sopeutuminen uuteen kulttuuriin, is integration, eli kotoutuminen tai kotouttaminen, it also means. It means that this adaptation to a new culture you can do so that you still preserve the own cultural characteristics, the own cultural features and things which defines you in your origin of your culture. So you still keep them. If I'm a Finn, I move, for example, to Thailand, I still want to go to sauna. It's a thing. It's a meditation time for me. So I still keep going sauna, and it's my thing, and I do the Finnish things there. So it means that although I'm in a new culture, I still keep things from my kind of old culture, or by my culture, by my, or where I'm born and what I'm born with. And in assimilation process, it means that these immigrants, they don't want to keep their old culture, or somehow they are not allowed to preserve their own cultural identity. They might think that I don't want to keep anything from the past, I want totally new identity, or in a new society it might be that, okay, we don't allow this culture, so you have to adapt to our culture. In the separation, it can be that this migrant group or some group of people from other countries, they are totally isolating themselves from the main culture. For example, if you are coming from Somalia and you are coming to Finland, you only want to be with Somali people, work with them, have hobbies with them, spend free time with them, live with them in the same area, and then you don't have so much connect with the host country. And then there is this marginalization, which means that these immigrants, they live in the margins of the society, so they don't have any connections with either with their own ethnic group or with the host society. So it's the most first case of this, all of this acculturation process. And then there are two different perspectives when we are talking about multicultural work. There's this culture-specific perspective, which more like highlights the differences in different cultures. That we have different features in different cultures, and that's why we as professionals should know these different cultural-specific features. And the other one is more pointing out that actually we are all the same, and all counseling actually is cultural, because we are all different by gender, social class, sexual orientation, political background, and so on. So basically, these are the facts we should focus on, not so much on the cultural specific features. And I think the ideal way, and these both are present in the guidance process, so both these perspectives. Then let's look a little bit about this iceberg model. So we see that only 10% are the visible part of the culture, so they are easy to see, maybe easy to change as well, but these 90% under the surface, under the sea, are invisible part, and these are really difficult to change. And as professional, we should somehow look at these things under here, because that would help us as well to serve better the clients coming from other cultures. Go here. And then this Hofstede cultural dimension, I am opening more in the first module, but this is as well, you should start with evaluating with yourself, with your group members, how do you define Finland society, how do you define you with this cultural dimension, and also use the Hofstede's 7 dimensions. And if you want more guidance with this, please let me know so I could translate into feelings or so on. But this is really interesting framework to evaluate the cultural differences and similarities. It helps us to understand the cultures better. And then why then differences in cultural backgrounds of counselors and clients need to be approached from multiple perspectives. So there should be this mutual understanding of the purpose and expectations of counseling, because it might be that the client does not know what is counseling. It's a totally new thing. Even if you are the kindergarten teacher and working there, the clients might not have kindergarten at their own country. They don't know what they expect from you. So you have to explain things clearly. What is this service? What the client can expect from you? But also you should know the client's cultural background a bit better to understand what client is expecting from you. The client might be from a culture where, for example, is really high power distance, valta-asetelma, based on the Hofstede's model, that it means that in that culture they have really respect to authorities and they see you as an authority. So for them, they might be really difficult to share personal issues and life with you because they see you as an authority. So you should explain things really then from the scratch, what does it mean to be here and how is this cooperation working. And it's really important to develop communication skills with different cultures, and this intercultural understanding helps in that how you communicate with different cultures. And also these attitudes, we should somehow see our own attitudes and evaluate them. Are they correct? Should we somehow work with our own attitudes? Because we might be blind to our own attitudes, but still it might affect to the client somehow and we don't see it. So I hope we can somehow in this course also you will get understanding what are your attitudes in different aspects in this field. And then these universal and culture specific elements also are really important to understand as a counselor, that how they are, like what culture specific feature they are that I should know, that I could act better with these clients from this culture, and what are universal features and so on. And now let's then move on to the our Optima site. So we went also through a bit this one, and now I have added here the groups. So please see your group. You have also colors, but also numbers, and I hope everyone is there. So let me know if your name is not on the list, and then you can go to Teams and you can open it like this and start now discussing with your group about the topic, your own cultural dimensions. What do you think? How do you relate yourself with the dimensions after you have listened to module 1? Eli nyt sitten ryhmät on jaettu, voitte tulla tänne Teamsiin, sieltä te löydätte oman ryhmänne vielä ja aloittakaa keskustelu. Eli siellä nyt sitten ihan esitelkää ensin itsenne, ketä ootte, mitä taustaa edustatte, työkokemusta, mitä opiskelette. Myös löytyy Flipgrid-videolta sitten ryhmäläisten esittelyt, niihin kannattaa tutustua vielä sitten, missä on myös enemmän selville. Ja sitten lähtekää keskustelemaan tästä ensimmäisestä aiheesta, eli täällä oli listattuna näistä teemoista ykkösmoduulin perusteella, ja sitten koostakaa niistä OneDriveen semmoinen tiivistelmä, noin 1,5 maksimissaan 1 sivua. Ja tosiaan niin joku teistä ryhmäläistä nyt sitten OneDriveen tekee tiedostoa ja jakaa sen sitten muille, niin saatte siihen täydennellä näitä tietoja. Ja sitten tosiaan kun olette sen tehnyt, niin tehkää sitten myös se keissi tarkemmin, miettikää, että minkälainen keissi teillä on kyseessä, onko perhe kenties kyseessä, silloin on useampi keissi. Ja avatkaa vähän, että mistä kulttuurista he on. Täytyy siis olla monikulttuurinen keissi, minkälainen status heillä on, kuinka hyvin he on jo integroituneet, onko he kenties Suomen kansalaisia, mitä muita taustatietoja heistä haluatte kertoa, ja myös sitten, että mikä on se heidän erityistarpeensa, mikä se tarvitsee tätä ohjausta. Ja also avatkaa myös sitä, että mikä teidän rooli on. Valitteko te yhden ammattikunnan edustajan, esimerkiksi lastensuojelun perhetyöntekijän tai nuorisotyöntekijän, jonka kautta avaatte keissiä, vai muodostatteko kenties moniammatillisen työryhmän tämän keissin ympärille? Olette te sitten lasten pasusuunnitelmaa tekemässä tai sitten kotoutumissuunnitelmaa tai muuta suunnitelmaa, niin siinähän voi olla monikulttuurinen tai moniammatillinen tiimi tosiaan sitten taustalla. Ja sitten tosiaan sen jälkeen tehkää tämä Empathy Map. Siellä tosiaan on teille täällä nämä ryhmät aukaistu, kurkatkaa sinne ja menkää Teamsissa vaikka, keskustelkaa videon välillä ja sitten joku teistä kirjaa ja yrittäkää päästä vielä lähemmäksi sitä asiakasta sen empatikartan avulla. Ja palauttakaa se sitten tosiaan tänne 11.2. Groupwork Areaan, niin jatketaan siitä seuraavalla webinaarilla 6 viikon päästä. Olkaa yhteydessä, jos tulee jotain ja enjoy this course. And let's have fun as well. Bye!